Happy Planner came out with the new line Citrine Planners, and when I saw these, I instantly knew that I really wanted one. I think this would be a really great content planner, and so I thought, let's do a flip through. I wanted to show you kind of what I loved about it, and in case you haven't heard about it, or if you just wanted to see a review from somebody who didn't get it sent to them, then this is a perfect video for you. I'm really excited, and let's just take a look at it. All right, so this is the full planner, and what I really liked about it was this beautiful cover. They do have a size that's a little bit smaller, and it's 8 discs instead of 9. And that was actually the one I was initially drawn to, but I decided to go for this size because I have so much Happy Planner paper. I even have the hole punch, just a lot of stuff that would fit best with this size. That's why I decided to go for the 9 disc, but let's take a look back here at the cover again. The smaller one actually had one that was really cute. It had like 2026 with a little bow, and I loved that. But like I said, I really wanted the 9 disc because I thought it'd be more realistic. You do get a nice snap closure on the front, which my cat immediately wanted to play with, and then just standard gold discs. These don't have any like hearts or anything like that maybe we would see from a Happy Planner, and so I did like that. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Toll planner. The cover itself is really soft. I'm assuming it's a vegan leather, and then we can see that the 2026 is embossed, which is great, except for it would probably be kind of nice if they would just let us do refills instead of having to always buy a new planner that didn't have the year. And then here we have a pen loop. I just gotta find a pen that'll, there we go, fit in it. Okay, so this Uniball's fine. It's a fine fit overall. And that's kind of what that can look like. So yeah, that's fine. I'm not like particularly impressed by it, but it is a nice addition. I'm happy to see it. I think it'll be a really nice work planner for a lot of people. So that'll be really convenient to just be able to have your pen attached. And then when we first look inside, there's just these nice pockets. You have a full front pocket and then kind of like a flip pocket. Now we do get a couple of stickers with it, which I don't particularly care about since I'm not going to be using them for planning, but I do like that they included them. I think it's a nice touch. I'll probably use that in my other planner. And then we just have our good old standard front page. Very minimal, a really great spot just to write who it belongs to, any of your contact information. And then when we flip to the yearly view, I actually really liked this. I'm somebody who really enjoys actually that year at a glance. So this is a little bit different. I didn't expect this one, but I think that it'll be a nice switch up. I'd kind of already had ways that I was going to use the other one, so I might do some kind of printable. But essentially what you're getting is the 2026 year. You're getting 6 months and then areas to write. 2027, which I never find much to use these for unless, especially if I was using this for work, I could plan ahead maybe any conferences, continuing education that I need to do, things for 2027 that I am planning in 2026. So that is a nice touch for a professional. And then they do start us out in the October monthly, which I appreciated because if I had bought it sooner, I probably would have jumped into it a bit more. I always think that is something that I personally enjoy. We also get November, and then we get December. So you can see why I really wanted to film this before I started kind of writing in it. But on these monthlies, we're getting the full month in a view. We're starting with a Monday start, which is my favorite start, especially again, because if you are a working professional or somebody who works Monday through Friday, I like that my entire week is the front load, and then I have the weekend. Not everyone likes a shading on their monthly, but I actually really appreciate that. Some notes, your next month and the one after that, and then any relevant holidays here. So I believe the entire monthly is what we're first looking at. And then overall, I'd say the paper is just a true Happy Planner paper where it's a little bit thicker. And then we have annual goals. So these are of course your yearly goals. You get your quarterly milestones. So I think that's probably implying things that you'd like to do within the quarter, the action items for that, and then you can just keep going that way, right? That'll help you plan out that goal a little bit more in depth. And then you do get a quarterly priorities and projects. I was looking a bit ahead, and I believe that this is actually in every single quarter. We'll look together though. So we get the quarterly projects, and then kind of the same idea where we're going to write our priorities, and then the actual project itself, when your deadline is, whether that's a work deadline or personal deadline. Again, this is why I thought it'd be a great content creator planner, because it's setting you up for things like this, where you have your project, your due date, and it's keeping you in line, but also really accountable for yourself. So then this to-do list, I'm wondering if this is either monthly or if it'll also be quarterly. It would be great actually as a monthly, but you can kind of triage a bit of what's urgent, things you need to schedule, and your low priorities but should do, and then maybe those follow up. So I actually like this quite well. I hope this is at least monthly or quarterly. And then you put us into our true January month. I'm excited about this planner. So we have the entire month in one page here on the side. For me, when I have these smaller boxes, one of my favorite things to do is
actually color code them, and I'll usually use one of my Tombow dual brush pens, and maybe I'll write like my specific work schedule, and specifically I'm at, you know, one office is one color, a different office is a different color, and then maybe like meetings are just, you know, a little dash of another one. So I think that works quite well in these smaller boxes. You can write a little bit more expanded down here if you need to, or just things, you know, that you're looking forward to, need to get done, that type of thing. We do have these moving indexes, which I just love this. I think these are brilliant. For January, you can write your goals and priorities, your running to-do list, and then also these little habit trackers. So for me as a content creator, I'm going to use this for my book account. And one thing I thought of for these would be, you know, maybe how many times I posted on TikTok, Instagram, and I was also thinking specifically on Instagram stories. That's something I avoid. I don't know why, but I think that'd be really nice to see what days I'm actually posting those. And then a notes page here on the side. And then you have this whole entire notes page. This is always paired up with your monthly view. And then if we go to our next page, it's going to show you our week. Get a good old dashboard layout. This is actually my personal favorite from the Happy Planner, and so I was really happy with this one, very pleased. I do have a quote, so this one is real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. And then you get your Monday through Sunday, a noted section, and again Monday through Sunday. So instead of doing the calendar here, you get that noted area, and then you can actually move this along as you go. So this helps you kind of keep that running to-do list, but also focused on your goals and priorities. And then we just get to do this same layout here for the remainder of the month, no changes. Then you finish off with a notes page. This is nice for if you need to do a recap or just any thoughts, things that you're kind of adding as a running list of maybe needing to put for the next month without actually putting it in February yet. I'll flip it over, and then we're in February. Same thing, you get this really nice tab that gets to move. I love that they decided to do the monthly tab with this, because then you're always just going right to the spot you're actually at. You're not having to kind of flip through a couple of pages. So that monthly notes page, going right back to the dashboard, nothing different there. So I'll just show you, you know, same idea. Always going to have those holidays there at the bottom, your awesome little dashboard index, whatever you want to call it, notes. And then let's actually see if we start getting some of those quarterly pages again. Okay, so you finish off March with 2 note pages, and then yes, this is exactly what I thought. So you get your quarterly priorities and projects all over again, and then from there you can, you know, carry over a project if you needed to, but also just kind of getting refreshed there. So same thing with your urgent to schedule, low priority, and follow-up. And then we'll go ahead and jump into April, which is your next quarter. So this is when your quarter 2 starts. What I also like about that is I don't personally work a corporate job. I work actually at a medical office. So for me, it is a bit different, but you know, a lot of my friends will talk about how their work is really run by quarter, and that's the best way that they organize things. And so I like that this can really fit into that life. So we've already gone through the quarterly pages. You get the same thing with your April, no changes, and right back to that weekly dashboard. So let's go ahead and I'll show you the monthlies, but nothing is changing. So I don't want you to have to look through every single page with me, although that would be exciting, wouldn't it? Again, the layout's really nice and minimal. We do get the branded there just at the bottom, but I don't think that that's too much. Small quotes, not colorful. I love that. Very minimal. And if you're somebody who likes a sticker, I mean, this is a nice baseline where you're not clashing with any of the colors that they have added, but also you don't have to sticker. It's very minimal if you want it to be. And I like that. I do like playing with stickers and drawing and that type of thing, but this is a type of planner that does something different for me. This is a more functional, true everyday work planner. And I think this is something that MAMBI and, you know, the Happy Planner, I think that's something that they were missing. I think this is a really nice addition. I think it's interesting though that they didn't decide to do it for a Happy Planner. At least I haven't seen it. I have fallen just slightly off of the Happy Planner train just because I wasn't getting this. This is what I needed. But I did use Happy Planner the most when it came to my college and all of that. And then when I'm talking about my content planning, what I think will be nice is that, you know, so in the publishing world, Tuesdays is when traditionally published books actually get released. And so I'll be able to write if any of them are there, what videos I have coming out. I usually post Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I would have, you know, my TikTok video, my Instagram story, my reel, my post, my YouTube video, that type of thing. And I could just write those here. And then when it comes to the actual monthly, like I said, Tuesday is the day everything is published. So this isn't something I would probably write on. I actually plan to take one of my, I have plenty of just regular Happy Planner size pages. I'll just hole punch this, maybe cut it in half so I can have 2 of them, and I'll write books that are getting published in the month of October, and I'll just have a running list for myself as well as books that maybe I need to review or have already to review. And then here in October, it's going to tell us to plan accordingly. So this is that page where it tells you to reflect and plan for the next year. I actually quite like these, and I think this is always kind of funny, kind of endearing when I see it. For more content planning kind of planner ideas, my goals and priorities. So my goal for the year is actually to work on YouTube. I was thinking about getting the same planner for my like planner and kind of hobby channel that we're on now. But I just don't think I needed that. There's not as many moving parts for me. So I did it, but we'll see what I think. I might make something similar to taking this and putting it in half and then making some kind of plan for this channel. But my goals and priorities for like my book YouTube, for example, would be that I want to post my monthly wrap up of what I've read. And then I would also like to do maybe books I plan to read and at least one vlog. And those will be of various different types, maybe a reading vlog or just what I read in a week, those types of videos. And here we are in December. And that's really the end of the planner there. So I didn't show you the rest of the quarterly pages, but I do want to see what maybe that looks like for the end of December. Yeah, so you get year in review, but let's see what else is there. So I did kind of just jump ahead. I think this is great. I think it's really something that they needed and I'm pleased. They really made it very neutral, very minimalist. And again, I like the paper. It's very traditional happy planner. It's not necessarily anything special, but it is a little bit thicker. It's not just your standard paper. Your wins, opportunities, goals, and key dates. And this is for your year ahead. So what I like about this is you could, you're spending that time reflecting on what happened last year and you can kind of plan out what you think should happen next, the key dates, which kind of a funny spot, I would say. I don't think that's necessarily that important. And then this last one's actually your time zones, which would be, again, interesting for maybe a working professional in the corporate world specifically. Yeah, and again, you can see that the discs are just regular, plain, nothing really going on there. The back, no extra pockets. You can see my desk was very dirty, I suppose. I don't know what was on my desk, but you can kind of see that I got something there. And then I have found that these don't quite move around as much as I'd like. It definitely gathers some of my little bits, but these are like tiny little paper shavings and stuff. Maybe it's just actually the texture there. So that's everything that I thought. Again, I really liked it. I liked the branding. I didn't think that it was too much, and I don't think they did anything wrong with this one. There are a couple other sizes. So this one again is 9 discs. The other one they have is actually an 8-disc planner. They do have coils if you prefer a coil, but I always like the disc bound because I can add and remove things. I think that's really important. And a reason why I like the happy planner is that I can go ahead and do that. So let me know if you plan to pick this one up. I'd love to hear it if you are. If you do go to Office Depot, they also had some different packs. They had some accessory packs such as more paper. I think maybe like a dashboard, a laminated kind of dashboard area, which could be maybe nice for writing. I'm not sure what it was for. I didn't open that. That was all sealed up. And then also had a pen thing that you would, put around your planner and you could put your couple of pens, maybe your, like those Tombos I was talking about, a highlight or something like that, which would really have you ready for any kind of meeting. I was surprised they didn't have any extra note paper. I think that actually would have been a nice addition, like a little tab here that just said notes, some extra paper. I think that would have been helpful, but I don't think, again, that they're doing anything wrong by not including that. And overall, I'm very pleased with the planner. I can't wait to use it. I figured maybe I would do a quarterly update if you'd like to see that, but otherwise, let me know if you plan to use it and which one you picked up. There was a nice kind of teal color, and then, like I said, some smaller sizes. I believe this is the biggest one that they had, and I'm excited to see just overall how the year goes with this, guys. Like I said, let me know if you're using it or what your plans are. If you've seen my other video, I'm using my Hobonichi Cousin this year as kind of my life book, and then this will be more of like my work and content planning book. So hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you guys later.